So Season 3 of Gauntlet's been out for a while, and you guys are probably wondering, where's the updated axe build? Well, I finally got it done. This build's taken a couple different forms over the course of the last couple weeks, but it's finally done, and I've got a nice bonus for you guys too. With this build, you only need one fire cell, meaning a +1 fire cell is all you actually need to get this build to work. It works better with +6, but +1 will work perfectly fine. So let's jump down into Dauntless and take a look at this build real quick. So for the weapon, we're going to be running the Existential Crisis. For the cells in this weapon, we're going to be using our +3 fire and another +3 fire cell. Now, if you don't have enough to use +6 fire with this build, you can put a +3 reuse into one of those slots and whatever the biggest fire cell you have available in the other slot. For the special, we're obviously going to be using Grim Onslaught, and for the mod, Overcharged Cylinder. With the attack speed from fire, it should be pretty easy to stack up the Overcharged Cylinder. For the bond, we're going with Edge of Dawn. For the Omni Cell, it's kind of Iceborne or bust on this one, guys. I'm sorry, but with fire, you kind of have to run Iceborne. For the lantern, we're going with Pangar's Shrine and a Catalyst Cell in that one. You can run any lantern you want with this build, but I find that Pangar slowing down the movement speed of the behemoth is going to be the most beneficial. For the helmet, we're going with Tragic Echo, and we're going to put a +3 Berserker cell in there. For the chest, we're going with Dark Morrow, and we're going to put the other +3 Berserker in there. For the gloves, we're going with Time Weaver's Gauntlet with a +3 Cunning cell, and for the legs, we're going with Time Weaver's Legs with a +3 Overpower cell. Now for the tonic loadout, we're going to go with Blitz Tonic, Frenzy Tonic, and Assault Tonic. The Blitz Tonic is going to give us a little bit more attack speed, getting us pretty close to the attack speed cap. The Frenzy Tonic is going to give us just some raw extra damage. And the Assault Tonic is going to increase the staggers to help us benefit the most from that Overpower cell. And for the perk breakdown, first up we have +6 Berserker. This is going to reduce our maximum hit points by 300, but because of Iceborne, we're not too concerned about that. After dealing damage, you're going to gain 3.5% damage for 3 seconds, and that can stack up to 10 times for a grand total of 35% extra damage. Then we have +6 Catalyst. This gives us 60% tonic effectiveness and 60% tonic duration. This is going to really help you get a little bit more of attack speed, damage, and some more stagger damage from those tonics. Make sure to maximize these tonics in the Slayer's Path as soon as you can. Then we've got the +6 Cunning. This is going to give us 10% critical strike chance and 30% critical strike damage. I've done a couple different variations of this build by dropping the Cunning cell altogether, and the Cunning cell just outpaced everything else I put on this particular build. Fourth up, we have +6 Fire, the key cell for this build. This is going to grant us 20% increased attack speed and 30% increased movement speed. Now, this is going to help with the attack speed on the slower hitting axe, but it's also going to help you close the gaps after throwing your axe or the behemoth repositioning. Since a lot of the times you're going to be running around with your axe drawn, trying to get those charged attacks in, getting to the behemoth quicker is going to give you more time to get those stacks built up and get those charged hits in. Now, the downside to the cell is on hitting a behemoth with a weapon attack, only a weapon attack. This, I believe, does not include your axe throw ability. It definitely does not include the ice spike. This is only going to include your axe swings. You are going to lose life equal to 5% of your maximum hit points. Now, you can also run this at +1, and it's only going to do 1% of your max hit points and damage, but only give you 5% attack speed and 5% movement speed. Now, another option is running this at +3, which will give you 10% attack speed and 15% movement speed, while only costing you 3% of your max hit points every time you swing. That's not a bad idea if you don't want to take the full 5% of your max hit points, but I really wouldn't be concerned about that 5%. It's only 2% more damage over the +3, and you're gaining 10% more attack speed. If you do decide to go with a +3 or +1 variant, I would recommend putting a recycle cell in place of one of the fire cells. Then we've got +6 Overpower. This is going to give you 40% more damage against staggered behemoths. Last up, we have +6 Rage. Once every 15 seconds, when you take damage, you're going to deal 20% more damage for the next 15 seconds. This is also on a 15-second cooldown, but because you're constantly taking damage from fire, this is going to proc every 15 seconds. Now, one of the other versions of this build I would like to show you guys really quick is going to be the version that uses Predator. We're only going to change the gloves and the boots really quick and swap some cells around. So if you switch to the Predator version of the build, you're going to be using Malkirion's Grasp for the gloves with a +3 Cunning cell, and Strides of Thorns for the legs with a +3 Catalyst cell. This is going to give you the exact same perk breakdown, but instead of +6 Overpower, you're going to have +6 Predator. Now, +6 Predator is going to give you 35% more damage, but the bonus is lost when you hit. If you don't take damage for 15 seconds, you get the buff back. This is the ideal way to run this build if you're confident in your ability to not get hit very often. You're going to do more damage with the overpower cell while the behemoth is staggered, but you should be able to get more uptime with Predator. It's up to you guys if you're comfortable with trying to keep Predator up, or if you would rather try to keep the behemoth staggered. And that really depends on the difficulty of the content you're running, obviously. But just so you know, the fire cell is not going to make you lose the Predator bonus. So you don't have to worry about that. You can actually have both Rage and Predator active at the same time for a total of 55% bonus damage from those two cells. So in the gameplay footage, I'm going to be using the overpower version of the build. This is kind of the one I prefer. I don't want to have to put too much effort into getting the dodges when I'm running more trivial content. I'm going to leave links to a couple different versions of the build in the video description for you guys to check out. But the amount of raw damage that this build does is absolutely insane. Now with the bond in the weapon, you're going to have a 12% chance to get a second attack in. With all the attack speed you have on this build between the Blitz Tonic and Catalyst and the Fire Cell, you're going to be attacking pretty quick, so that's going to proc relatively frequently. The attack speed is also going to benefit you in the regards that you're not going to have to worry too much about Berserker stacks falling off. And I have tested this build with an Umbral variant and a couple other variant axes. The problem is without that double attack and without the +6 cunning, those numbers did not parse nearly as high in the training grounds. So I would definitely recommend running this with the Radiant Axe over any other axe so far. I think this would be a great build to take into Gauntlet right now, Escalation, or even Heroic Escalation. Although you should be mindful in Heroic Escalation that the behemoths are going to come pretty close to one-tapping you because of the +6 Berserker. So when you're running this in Heroic Escalation, I would probably put on something like a Knockout King in place of one of those Berserkers, or any Brutality cell that you guys think would help you the most. I hope you guys enjoy the build. I hope you guys get a chance to check it out. I know it's using one of the new cells, the Fire Cell, but since you only really need a +1 to get the build up and running, maybe not at peak efficiency, but at least up and running, you guys are going to have an opportunity to check it out and then decide if you want to go invest more time in getting a full +6 of the Fire Cells. I've gone through like 12 variations of axe builds now using the Fire Cell, and this one was the one that parsed the highest in the training grounds, specifically the version with Predator on it. But the version with Overpowered should not parse too far behind it when you get a chance to actually take it out into the field. I'm going to leave links in the video description for a couple different variations of the build. There should be a version down there that's not using the Catalyst cell. That version should be using a +6 reuse variation of the build. So you're going to be able to get most of your attack speed from just part breaks and from the Fire Cell. Definitely don't run Strike Zeal with that variation of the build. Any other lantern should be fine. And I think you might go slightly over your attack speed cap when you have somebody running Captain's Grip in your party. If you guys are looking for some people to play Dauntless with, or you're looking for a guild to join, there's going to be a social link in the video description that will include a link to our Discord server. I hope to see you guys around on the Discord server. We've got a new system for vetting people before adding them to the guild, but there's definitely always people active on the Discord to come play Dauntless with in a lot of different time zones. There's still people in the Discord I haven't got a chance to play with because of the random time zones some of our users are in. Don't forget to like the video. It really helps push the video out to more people. And if you guys are looking for more Dauntless content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And if you're a newer player to Dauntless looking for something to get you into escalations to farm those legendary items for a lot of these more advanced builds, I will leave a video right here for you guys to help you farm your first escalation. And I'll see you guys in the next video.